Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. That's right. She's a little bit salty.
He's a whole lot of petty, and together we're the Salty and Petty Podcast.
Duh. That's right. And like we promised last time, seems like just a few hours ago. Yes, we're going to talk. We're going to do a review for, what is this, the 25th anniversary? Wait, no. 45th
Came
anniversary.
Out in 1979.
Yeah, 45th. Yeah, because you're younger than me. Yes, Alien. The movie Alien. I wish it was the 25th anniversary. Anyway, yes. Yep, the one that started it all.
Unfortunately.
Oh. Yeah, the first thing.
I'll talk about it.
The first two things that struck me were I was just like, well, one, oh my god, look how young Sigourney Weaver looks, and two, I'm like, I love the high tech future of the 70s where it's all blinking lights and Atari graphics on the computer screen.
You'd be surprised how many government offices actually look like that in 2024.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure there's government agencies that are still using MS-DOS.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is actually one of my favorite movies. Notice I didn't say movie franchises.
I
love Ridley Scott as a director. This probably started my obsession. And anytime Ridley Scott, I don't know what it is with Ridley Scott, but I think he's a little too out there. And it's like, why hire Ridley Scott if you're not going to let him do the full Ridley Scott? Like, he gets into conflict with the studios and the suits every single movie. And you always go, well, I got to wait for the director's cut. Every single Ridley Scott movie has a director's cut, and it's always the superior cut. And it's like, just start fucking listening to Ridley Scott, guys. We can just avoid this whole thing.
Superior cut. Yes.
Exactly.
I know. Again, it's like if there's a need for a director's cut, I'm like, just let the man cook.
Unless it's Zack Snyder.
True that.
Like, bro, that's just more gratuitous satisfaction orally.
I thought you went there. I was going to say masturbation, but okay.
Think you got the Marilyn Manson treatment. If you're a 90s kid,
whoa!
You understand that reference.
Oh, so himself. Okay.
Exactly.
That's a rumor. Just like he was Paul from the Wonder Years. That's a rumor.
Oh, you know how bad I wanted that to be true. I want to live that. You know what? That's wrong with the timeline. If that was true, our timeline would not be the darkest timeline. That would be amazing.
I know. How great would that have been?
I love those 90s, early 2000s. Like, how did kids in the middle of nowhere with very little access to internet get that? Like, it's crazy. It's like the Super S thing. How did it happen? That's a rabbit hole for another day.
I don't know. The 90s kids just wanted to be like, oh, look what our childhood grew up into.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Gen X scares me. Anyway. So yeah, this came out in 1979. I would love to see it in original 70 millimeter. Honestly, interestingly, it like debuted at like Seattle International Film Festival at midnight because it's like this horror, sci-fi, psychological thriller. It's like it's so many things and it's good at all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Honestly, I would love to live in a timeline where this was just a solo film and they didn't try to milk this franchise for money. I think it would be a lot more special.
Yeah.
I think it would just, instead of like this brain dead franchise now that they've turned it into, and they connected it to Blade Runner, and it's just stupid. I hate anything after Alien 2, honestly. I really do.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe the next one, but then that's it. Cut it off.
Yeah.
Because
Alien Resurrection is my least favorite before we got those stupid like Alien prequel films.
Oh, Prometheus.
But then now he's coming back for the Alien Romulus, which is like this teen horror thing in space. So I'm interested. Allegedly. I don't think so. I honestly, let me double check that. Because I don't think he's going to do that. I think it's somebody else. But anyway, like they're always trying to do something with the Alien franchise, and it's like I just like that there's a creepy alien out there that hates humans. It just wants to destroy all humans. Like that's all I need.
Lilith is like relatable content.
Weird lore. I don't need that we killed like Jesus was one of them. I don't need any of that.
Oh God, Lilith is like relatable content for me.
Exactly.
You know what? We might have to do a crossover with a certain show. Maybe do Alien vs Predator.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Those are ridiculous, but I kind of like it because I like. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I love Sanaa Lathan, and I love that she's basically like a final girl. But let's like her working with the. We could get into it if we ever do review it. It's got its issues, but it's still kind of fun. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was like one of the only Alien movies I've actually seen. Kind of ironic.
But no,
they didn't do a re-release for Alien.
Yeah, you would think. I mean,
like I said, I would love to absolutely see it either remastered for like IMAX or see it on that 70mm because like it's the cinematography of it, at least soundscape. Yeah, it's just brilliant.
At least
the whole movie top to bottom is brilliant.
In some format on the big screen. Hell yeah, I'd love to see this.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because like there's books, there's video games. Oh my God, if you ever get any Alien like collector toys, they're amazing. Most of them. Some of them are kind of cash grabby, like circa 1990, early 90s, like G.I. Joe. Cash grabby, but the really good quality ones are so good and detailed. And yeah, if you're an Aliens fan, like I don't know how other Aliens fans feel because, like I said, like I think if this was just a solo movie, the original Alien movie, it would have just stand the test of time a little bit better. I feel like people roll their eyes. When it came to Alien versus Predator, that was the most cash grabby thing in the franchise ever because both franchises were dead. It's kind of like when they did Jason versus Freddy.
I was gonna say,
those
yeah,
two franchises were dead. And I kind of revived it, and they both kind of sort of got a reboot off the strength of that, I guess, after the resurgence of interest. But I think it's the worst thing they ever did for either franchise.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like I was gonna do that Freddy versus Jason comparison. I'm like, yeah.
It's obvious. It was around the same time too, so yeah, like oh my God, like now that I think about it, like I would say, oh, the 2020s are so bad, but like they were remaking basically. I Know What You Did Last Summer is a remake of like a classic movie they just turned into a teen rom-com. Well, not rom-com, but a teen like slasher film. We tried to reboot the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise during that time. We kind of sort of soft rebooted Scream at that around that time too. So it's just they've been at this for a while.
Used to be there.
So I shouldn't give everybody shit about it, but like
I mean, they used to be more.
Lilith, I have to.
They used to be more subtle about remakes and stuff. Yeah, now it's just like no.
The Psycho remake from the late 90s. Oh God, now it's all coming rushing back to me.
Vince Vaughn. Oh Lord.
Oh my that film aged me.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, if you don't know, Aliens is a 1979 science fiction horror film directed by Ridley Scott, as I mentioned. Great story by Dan O'Bannon. And it just follows a crew of a commercial, what do they call it, a space tug? And they come across this weird spaceship on this uncharted planet.
Well, yeah, they pick up they get woken up because that's a stress call. Yeah.
I'm like, don't wake me. Don't bring me out of my cryo chamber for anything until we're home. That is number one rule for love. I don't care about a distress signal. Get me home.
I don't know. Even in the future, it's like, the boss said you gotta do this. It's in your contract.
Yeah. This movie is so quotable. And it's so funny. Everybody's like, well, now Disney owns Alien, and that's why they've been that's how can we have like those Alien comics, or they're like, the Queen Alien is a Disney queen now, and all those jokes. I was just like, guys, please. But this cast is so stacked. It's got well, you mentioned Sigourney Weaver, but it's got Tom Skerritt.
I know, young Tom Skerritt,
Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt. I'm just like, yeah.
I'm like, they all look so young.
They do. Oh my God, it's crazy. Sigourney, you know what? I don't think Sigourney Weaver is problematic because she's actually aged pretty well.
Oh yeah, no, but
that's my whole theory about people. If they age bad, they've been up to.
No, I'm not saying. Yeah, no, she's aged very well, but it just you see her in this, and just like, oh my Lord, she looks like a teenager. She looks like a teenager.
It's like anytime I watch the original Halloween and I freaking see Jamie Lee Curtis, it gives me like Uncanny Valley almost.
Oh yeah.
Because I like when I was growing up, I knew her from the Activia commercials. The yogurt that helps you poop. Like that was her most like known thing. And then like how Halloween, H2O, Resurrection, or whatever those movies started coming out. And I was just like...
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Sigourney Weaver, Jamie Lee Curtis, they're like, I mean, at least for us, they're celebrities who've always been around.
Always been around, bro.
Your entire life,
Absolutely iconic. And yeah, so, it's like I said, it's like science fiction horror, so it's like kind of very niche. But like, I feel like Ridley Scott is low key, like him and James Cameron are like counterparts, because he loves to do stuff, like he loves his stuff in space, and James Cameron loves his stuff based on water. Shout out to Avatar: Water of the Way of the Water.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
I will forever be upset that he turned down Aquaman. I think that if he, no shade to James Wan, but like, he was the guy. It was the obvious choice.
Maybe he didn't want to work in the Snyder sandbox?
It would have been way before. Like, they pitched it to him way before the Snyderverse. Like, Aquaman and Green Arrow. Like, if you ever remember that, the whole script about, like, Green Arrow, Supermax, all that. Around that time is when they were kind of approaching him, trying to put it together. And he just was like, I want to go play on the Titanic. Thanks. So, yeah. This movie, every single time, I find something new to love. But, like, this is, like, one of those perfect, like, the director's cut. Let me be very, very clear. The director's cut of Alien. I think they said there was, like, more than 20 script revisions in additions to the script during this time. And he just kept getting more angry and more angry. It's like seeing Raimi with the Spider-Man franchise. Oh, you want 4 villains? Fine. 4 villains. I don't give a fuck. Stay me out. That's basically, Ridley Scott when he's working with the major studios at this point. I'll just do the director's cut and it'll do gangbusters. I don't care. But I used to quote this movie so much. It's a lot of quotables.
Yeah, you know what? It had been so long since I watched this movie. I think it's been at least 20 years since I've seen this movie.
Really?
Yeah. It's been a long time. So yeah, just watching this, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this part. I forgot about this. Yeah.
I do the whole franchise anytime a new movie comes out.
Well, that's the thing. Now that I've done this rewatch, I kind of want to go back and rewatch all the franchise.
You kind of have to.
I don't know
even the newer stuff. I mean, it's interesting. It just doesn't feel like it's true to the actual source material. It feels like fanfic, but it's still really pretty to look at. It's got interesting themes. I mean, I could go over I can go over that stuff, and like it's just like. In the fandom, if you go on Reddit, it's like always a debate. What is the meaning of it? Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're so stupid. I can't believe they did the Black Goon. It's like, oh, you didn't watch the director's cut, clearly. Again, like, so yeah. It's kind of like Donnie Darko. You can always tell people who watched it originally, and then the people that, like, watched the director's cut that I think is the only version of it, because it's a little more digestible. So, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, I know you didn't actually do the good one. But this also won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, and like shout out to practical effects, like seriously.
Oh yeah,
like this and The Thing. I love the practical effects in those two movies. One of my favorite practical effects.
Oh yeah, especially for the time this was made. Oh yeah, those the Alien special effects.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
1979. Because like, I think the first Alien movie I actually ever saw was probably Alien Resurrection. I'm pretty sure, which is 1997. Mm-hmm. And then the Predator versus the Alien versus Predator film. Alien Resurrection is an absolute travesty. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, yeah,
it was written by Joss Whedon, so if you didn't know, now you do.
But yeah, I mean, the effects for the alien and everything were just. I was like
really good.
I was like 79. Wow.
When it pops out of the chest, like that's the absolutely most iconic thing in the franchise. Oh man!
It's sprayed with the blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even,
it's really good though.
Oh yeah,
I can't praise this movie enough. Honestly, like I love all the characters. Like everybody feels fleshed out. It's literally like we're just picking up in the middle of the story. You feel like you can like tell the backstories of the characters and like who doesn't get along, what's the beef, all that. Like it doesn't just feel like, hey, these people just met.
Yeah, it almost seems like with, I guess maybe that's it. Maybe just with like minimal effort, we got more fleshed out characters than we get a lot of times in modern stuff. Because I was like, there's something about this that seems more than like a modern, some of the modern stuff, and I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's like
there's a couple of shows that kind of remind me of the premise of Alien that have come out in like the last 5-7 years, and they're all absolutely terrible. They're all in a spaceship. There's something weird going on. There's infiltrators, things like that. It's just like, oh, you want to be aliens so bad.
Do you think that's
and there's 7 crew members, in stasis when we start, and it's just like, oh, that's a lot of people for a horror. Heads are barely gonna. You already know heads are gonna super roll.
Somebody gonna die.
Yeah, and I don't think it should be company policy to investigate. I'm sorry.
I know it's like wait, well, like even what's his face are like just like I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine if you're in the world, kids? If you're you're a hauler or you're a trucker or something, like, oh yeah, we heard some strange noise over here. We need you to go investigate. Be like, I ain't no cop.
Exactly. The only thing I'm trying to investigate is a lot lizard. You know?
Oh.
So yeah, the 7 crew members are like Captain Dallas, Executive Officer Kane, obviously more Officer Ripley. Then there's the Navigator Lambert, the Science Officer Ash. It makes me laugh. I'm like, because Spock's no Spock. Like, he's the most superior science officer. And then there's the engineers Parker and Brett, who get on my damn nerve. And I don't like that the ship's computer's name is Mother. That's very ominous.
I know.
It's like, I wanted to rethink that one.
Is it just because it's supposed to take care of them? I don't know.
I guess. Didn't do a very good job. Anyway, they're like, yeah, okay, I guess we gotta land on the moon. So it's like Dallas, Kane, and Lambert investigate the signal origin. And then they're like, oh, look at this cool alien spaceship. And they're like, oh, look at this alien with a hole in its torso. And then it's like, oh, Mother just deciphered part of the transmission. And she's like, babes, that was an actual warning, you freaking idiots. So it's like, okay, every single Aliens movie, they have a cane. Somebody discovers the chamber with a whole bunch of eggs. Every single movie set up the same way, just about.
Yeah.
He touches one, the creature springs out, penetrates his helmet, and we get the face hugger, another iconic, And they're like, oh, they find him. Dallas and Lambert find him and carry unconscious Kane back to the ship. And of
course,
and so
the ultimate in foreshadowing, Ripley don't want to let them on the ship. She's like, no,
exactly.
Smart.
She's an acting senior officer. She's like, quarantine regulations, but then Ash, being the a-hole that he is.
Well, we know why later on. We find out why later on.
Overrides her decision and lets them inside. And they go back into space. And, Ash attempts to remove the creature from Kane's face, but he's like, oh, the blood's corrosive, acidic.
Oh, yeah, it leads to how many deaths
and it can damage the ship's hull, But, it eventually detaches itself and it's dead. And Kane's, doesn't have he has, memory loss. I'm like, case of the Osborne. And so they're eating this meal, and it's like, oh, my God, it's like the final supper every time. Is it me? There's definitely a traitor amongst us,
Oh, yeah.
So I love the scene, actually.
Oh, yeah, the chest scene, and just sprayed with the blood. Ah!
Yeah, he's starts choking, and he's convulsing, and then that chest burster killing him, and escapes into the ship, and she's like, I told you. I freaking told you.
Well, it's like, I love when it pops out, and it wasn't an Ash. She was like, don't touch it, don't touch, don't do. I'm like, it just burst through it. It just burst through someone's chest and killed him. I'm destroying that thing. I don't care.
Listen, this is a bunch of white people in a horror movie, so it kind of had to be said.
Well, mostly white people.
Yeah. F in the chat, y'all already know. So they eject Kane's body out of the airlock. The crew attempts to locate the creature with tracking devices and kill it. Oh, the cat Jones into the landing leg compartment. Like, no, not the kid. It's like, what? I need that as a drop.
Not the kitty.
And it's like, yeah, it's fully grown. So it was like, uh-oh. But then we get Dallas and the ducks with the flamethrower, another cool scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it ambushes him and seemingly kills him.
I was going to say, we never see a body.
Yeah. And then Lambert is like, yeah, we got to abandon the ship and flee in an escape shuttle. But Ripley's like, nah, it will not support 4 people. And I'm like, yeah, you guys go find him. I would have took off, bro. Sorry. I mean, it's not an actual military thing. It's just, it's contractor work. Who cares?
I know, but usually a hero in the movie is not like, F y'all, I'm out of here.
She better than me. She better than me. That's all I know. This movie did gangbusters, though, now that I think about it. I think the budget was like 11 or 12 million, and then it made like 185 million back.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually a really low budget. Or is it a really high budget for 1979? Because, like I said, the practical effects, I mean, it looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it kind of holds up, honestly.
I mean, again, I was watching this on Hulu in HD, and I'm like, this still looks good. I was like, oh my, you know.
Yeah. So I get why they wanted to, like, make all the extra movies, but, like, sometimes you need restraint.
Yeah.
It's like we don't have a Citizen Kane 2, guys. We don't have a Metropolis 2.
Mm-mm. These days, the only thing that doesn't get a sequel is if something bombs, horribly.
Oh, speaking of which, shout out to Fall Guy. They got the extended cut out. You guys should go watch it.
Oh yeah, did you see that? Isn't that streaming already?
Yeah, it's already streaming.
Yeah.
It took 17 days. It's so sad. It's a really great movie. A love letter to stunt guys, which wouldn't make most of the cool action movies, or even some of the. You'd be surprised some of the things that actually require stunt actors and stuff.
Where's that streaming at?
Oh, it's. I got a Roku TV, so I just click it. I just it was streaming as the actual extended cut.
I can look that up. Because I want to see that. Now that it's streaming. I'm like, why not?
I want to say it was Paramount Plus, but that doesn't sound right.
Looks like you can rent it or buy it a bunch of places. Yeah, it looks like it might be like for rent or to buy or whatever on some of these couple.
No, but it's supposed to be on VOD though, which is usually rental. So it's so hard to find stuff nowadays. It's annoying. I know.
Yeah, because you can buy it on Prime. You can buy it. Wait, I don't know.
Oh, Peacock, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, releases on digital 3 weeks after hitting theaters. Is that the biggest turnaround yet?
Yeah. Well, how long did Morbius take? I feel like Morbius was like a week.
I think it was longer than that. I think it might have been as long as the Fall Guy, maybe a week or two longer, but yeah, I know.
So yeah, anyway, sorry, back to this. I want people to see that movie. I think it's so good, it's so fun. Like, if we don't support movies like this, all we're gonna get are reboots and superhero movies. So I'm just like so adamant about it. I was so happy when Barbie and Oppenheimer did well, that Dune actually did well. People are like going to see it 4 or 5 times. I'm like, yes. I mean, maybe not, but to each their own.
Yeah.
We can finally as soon as this Dune stuff is over with, we can get rid of poor, sickly Victorian child Timothée Chalamet. So do what you gotta do.
Yeah, please.
So yeah, where was I?
Oh, what's that meme I saw? Like, was it today or yesterday? It said, a 30-some-year-old in the 90s, and it was George Costanza, and then it's like a 30-some-year-old today, and it was a picture of Timothée Chalamet.
You're right. These kids are aging like milk. I'm sorry.
But you know what? Maybe it's just because I'm such a big sci-fi fan, but I'd rather watch like an Alien than like a straight up slasher flick.
I think for me, everything has its place. Yeah. I like all the flavors of like horror, but like
I'll watch straight up horror too. But
horror comedy out of everything. So that like Shaun of the Dead or like Idle Hands, like those are my jams. But I like all kinds of horror. Like, I think they all are very interesting takes on the genre and what it brings, and like, so horror is very subjective. Like, some people like psychological stuff, and some people just like straight up gore. So I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it has every single subgenre of horror is special in its own way. But like I said, horror comedy or comedy horror, both. That's actually my jam. But like I said, this is a really well constructed movie. I mean, the lore can go so hard, and I get I get why they wanted to explore it, but it didn't feel like they wanted to explore it. It felt like they wanted to exploit it. Like I said, every single sequel has felt like a cash grab, and just like not true to the story or the source material and stuff. And they try to like box out the original people and stuff, and it just you can kind of tell that the original people weren't involved like immediately. So I think if they would have just allowed, Ridley Scott doesn't actually like doing sequels and stuff too, so I get it. It's a business, but sometimes you got to read the room, and I don't think they know how to read.
No. Again, it's just milk it for all it's worth.
Yeah. So yeah, they're trying to flesh out the alien. So accessing Mother, Ripley discovers a company has secretly ordered Ash to return with the alien for study, and to consider the crew expendable. Bum bum bum. So she confronts Ash. He tries to kill her, and Parker intervenes and clubs Ash.
Well, he shows up. Well, Ash shows up first, basically. Yeah.
His head loose and was like, "Oh, Ash is an android."
Yep.
Bum, bum, bum.
A robot. I know.
That was like the thing in the 70s. Oh my god! If you know, you know. Like every single B movie, that was the plot twist.
Robots.
like you're a robot and you didn't know it, or your girl's a robot and you didn't know it. Yeah, androids were like a thing.
Well, that's like a cool plot twist in this movie because again, you don't.
I think people were just getting high and reading PK Philip Dick and shit. Like I'm really sure that's what it was.
But I mean, it's kind of a cool twist because you don't know that robots are a thing in this universe, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's a robot.
What I mean. Like I get the lore. Like wait a minute, nobody knew.
Because I remember the first time I watched this, I was like, wait, is there an alien in it? I'm like, oh wait, it's a robot. Okay.
So great. And so they reactivate Ash's head, and then he's like, yeah, he confirms the company orders and states that the creature is unkillable. And he's like expressing his adoration. So this is like what sets up like David. And it's just like, I don't know that I like the direct parallel. Like I feel like they could have been done something more clever with the prequel about it. So I don't know. It's just weird how I feel. But yeah, so I'm just like, he's like, yeah, you're all gonna die. Ridley shuts him down and they incinerate his ass. As you do.
Oh yeah.
So then the remaining crew decides to self-destruct the ship and escape in the shuttle, but Parker and Lambert are ambushed and killed by the creature while getting the supplies. So Ripley starts the self-destruct sequence, but then the alien is blocking her path to the shuttle. She retreats, attempts unsuccessfully to abort the self-destruct, flees back to the shuttle with Jones, and they never think as it explodes. Oh, so classic. And they prepare for but not so fast. They prepare for stasis, and oh shit, the alien's on board. So she gets in a spacesuit and flushes the creature out. It approaches her before the alien can kill her. She opens the airlock door, but the alien's hanging on, little slippery little bastard. And so she fires that grappling hook gun to push it out, and then fires the engines, blasting it away into deep space.
Oh, it tries to crawl back in through the engine. Yeah, and she fires it up. Yeah.
So she records her final log entry, and she places Jones and herself into the stasis ship for the trip back to Earth. And you're just like that was crazy. Like not over yet.
I mean, in straight up horror movie fashion, yes, she strips down, and that's when, yes.
You're always when you're most vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Yeah, I love this movie. I love Sigourney Weaver, and everybody in it. Everybody did such a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, it's like such a straightforward, and I don't mean this in a bad way, by the numbers kind of horror, psychological thriller, but it's so fun in the unique situation of being in space and having that lore that there's an android and there's this evil company. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I love it.
That's why I said
I'm still waiting on a very, very amazing Aliens game. I have not seen one yet, so yeah. I'm just waiting. I'm like, maybe when PS6 comes out of the next Xbox, we can actually get it. So
we need real virtual reality soon here. Come on, like a holodeck. Come on.
Bro, don't even get me started.
Can you imagine gaming with something like that? Come on.
Oh, bro, remind me, Dave Chappelle hologram, remind me for not Salty Petty, but for the Patreon.
Oh, okay.
I saw something super interesting. It's got my brain lit.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty solid.
Oh yeah. Yeah, again, I mean, they tried to build, they did build a franchise on it, but yeah.
Yeah. It's just so hard, but like I just want to shout out Dan O'Bannon because like they like he used to work with John Carpenter. Like if you ever seen the movie Dark Star, it's one of those like science fiction comedy films from the mid '70s. If you know, you know. And it's kind of like he also like kind of worked on the Total Recall. Again, I think like I said, people were really kind of with Philip K. Dick. They totally were obsessed with him back in like the '70s.
Yeah, and I think just like probably with well, I mean, Star Trek was big in the '60s, and then they like started coming back with movies and stuff. People were just like, oh, science fiction, eh?
Yeah. He also, I think, started some of the work on the original adaptation of Dune. So, like, yeah, he is like, I really like. I feel like he doesn't get his flowers enough, honestly. So I just wanted you guys can go look him up. But like I said, I love Ridley Scott. He's one of my favorite directors. He has such like this really cool, varied filmography, and it's just like a shame. It's like if you're gonna hire Ridley Scott, it's just let Ridley Scott do his job, please and thank you. That's it. That's all that I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this movie from start to finish. The director's cut. I have to keep saying that. I'm sorry, but yeah. And you know, it took like 14 weeks for them to film this, which like really shocked me. Oh, and they shot it in London, and so I had to remember that because I'm like, wait, why did so and so win a BAFTA? And then I'm like, oh yeah, they shot it in London, which is like such an unusual place. It's kind of like when you remember that Star Wars was like shot in Tunisia and stuff, and like they still actually have like the stuff up. And you're just like, oh, that makes sense when you think about it, right? But like when you first hear it, you're just like, it doesn't compute.
I mean, I guess it really don't matter where you shoot this because most of it's on the ship or on that planet. I mean, it's like with all the sci-fi stuff like this, it's like it really don't matter where you shoot it.
Yeah. Oh, and I would love for you guys if you can get your hands on it, whether it's in the library or whatever. There's this really great book about Alien and Predator films. It's by David McEntee, I think, and it's called Beautiful Monsters, and it's like the unofficial and unauthorized guide to the Alien and Predator films.
Oh,
it's a really good, really good. So I love like books and magazines that give you like behind the scenes stuff about like I have like I have a ton of back issues of like Fangoria and stuff. So yeah, I really love like behind the scenes, be candid about like what they did and like set design and soundscaping and stuff like that. So that's a really cool book if you're a fan of these, because a lot of hard work, like as much as camp as Predator films are, still a lot of hard work goes into those Predator films too. So I'm not gonna knock it. Like I take Alien over Predator any day, just because Predator is more like action.
Yeah,
you know, not what like a whole bunch of think pieces on Predator, but.
What the F?
Sorry, boys. So yeah, I just kind of like, I feel like that's why the movie feels different too, because it was like not shot in America. And it doesn't have like an American director and like the whole thing. So like it's like when you watch like Japanese horror or K-horror, like their cultural significance of things are different, and so it's like really cool to see what scares other cultures. I mean, for God's sakes, English people eat beans on toast. Like that's scary in and of itself to me. So
oh my, that's out Little Hellfire.
Oh, fight me, Anglophile nerds. I don't know. But yeah, so there were like a crew of like 200 craftspeople and technicians that crafted the set and the surface of the alien planet, and then the interiors and the spacecraft that they find the alien in. They also used 1/24th scale miniatures of the planetoid surface and the abandoned spacecraft. They also had like really cool molds made out of wood and fiberglass, and it's just, they said it was just so much sand. It was coarse, it was rough, it got everywhere. You're welcome. Yeah, I think the making of the movie is so, and that's why I really love the director's cut DVD. They really get into like a lot of the stuff, and it's just like it was 1978 when they were doing this, and it's like. Yeah. You know, this is like some of the stuff that they were doing for Star Trek Next Generation and stuff like that. And there are actually some computer-generated imagery in there, too, in case you didn't know, on the bridge. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, there's just like so much cool stuff about this, the making of this movie. So, yeah, I think it's very fascinating. Oh, and Sigourney Weaver was allergic to the cat hair. It's like something that they used to make them look sweaty. Yeah, it was weird. I'm just like, poor thing. I love that cat. Hell, he's losing it, guys. Go ahead, fall out of your chair.
No, I thought. Yes, she loves that cat, guys.
Superior puss.
Justin's like, this is not relatable content for me.
No, we discussed this the other night. Yes, no, he doesn't fall under the he doesn't fall under the spell of superior puss. So.
I actually found a Laserdisc version of this in a thrift shop one time.
Oh wow!
I think it's still somewhere in my storage unit. I thought that was like the coolest thing. I have this on VHS. I have the whole collection: Aliens 1, 2, 3, and Aliens Resurrection on like a VHS set.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very recent. Actually, I acquired it very recently, probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I was at the comic book shop and it was like in the like last chance bin. I got it for like $3. It's crazy.
Oh wow!
Crazy. I'm like, I'm not gonna argue with you. This is so fucking cool.
What, the whole set for $3?
The whole set for $3. I mean, because who besides me has a VHS?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people aren't looking for VHS probably at this point.
I've got that DVD. I've got a regular just like forehead hail VHS, and I also have like a VHS player where you burn and do all that stuff too.
Yes.
So. I still have that stuff. I think like I've been getting back into analog. I dusted off my record player and all that stuff and my tape deck. I'm just gonna pretend like it's like 2001 and just not care about anything else probably.
Okay, Grandma.
Yeah, seriously. You know, people laughed when The Matrix said 1999 was the peak of civilization, but I'm looking around and I'm like, did they lie though? Did they lie though?
Well, I was just looking for the release date for the original Terminator, so because I know it's the anniversary, so we can put it on. So we can put it on the schedule somewhere. Yes, he travels back from the year 2029. It's coming. It's coming.
It's just like I told you, I was so sad when the Back to the Future date passed. I was just like, shit, man.
Well, then the real hoverboards, just that crap they sell in the store.
Yeah.
With wheels. How do you call yourself a hoverboard if you're on wheels?
Elon Musk, where's my hoverboard?
Exactly. Oh God.
Who would buy
hoverboard from Elon Musk?
Mark your bingo cards, kids.
Yeah, keep saying that, Lilith. Luke is gonna expect a shekel here soon.
I'll get him a gluten-free shekel. Don't you worry.
Oh my God! If we put oh my God, I might have to put that T-shirt, design and put that T-shirt up. Be like, here, boy.
We need it.
I'll split the
who
profits.
Who would buy blank from Elon Musk?
Who would
they
buy?
can fill it in themselves.
Or who would buy anything from Elon Musk?
Yep. So, like I said, there's a couple of different versions on it, and just make sure you get the right one.
So, is there any movie or franchise that's come close to this for you? The Alien.
Science horror.
Yeah.
The science horror genre. No, I think it stands out by itself. I think that's why they keep trying so hard to make it a thing, and they don't know what angle to come at it from. And it's like the beginning of the prequel is cool. The very first movie is really cool because it's like, okay, we make the connection to Blade Runner. That's cool. That's fun. It's got Charlize Theron, it's got Idris Elba, and they have cool character moments, but like you never connect with the characters, and that's the problem. And I really feel like I said they should have went back to the original source. They should have had Ridley do it. They should have had O'Bannon write it and really flesh out because it was his story. It was his baby. And then you also have the whole Blade Runner thing, and they even botched the other Blade Runner movie that they tried. So it's like they don't fundamentally understand like what makes these things special and how to blend it and how not to make you feel like I like literally like when they said that these were prequels, the prequels were coming out and like who was writing them, it was like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek for me. I don't want anything to do with it. Y'all can hate me if you want to. I hate the Kelvin timeline. I hate that it's canon in our main Star Trek TV shows now.
I hate that that was Spock's final stop.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things. It's just like if you really truly wanted the franchise to flourish, you should have done it with the people that made it special in the first place. And if they decided that maybe it didn't need a sequel, maybe they were right. Or, do books, do a TV show. Don't just keep trying to chase that high because every single movie gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, because, that's the thing. Unlike Star Wars, Star Trek started out as a TV show and another TV show. It's like...
Yeah, and, honestly, like, I give Disney grief about, like, what they've done to the Star Wars franchise and stuff. Like, with specifically the movies. I think the animated stuff is really good. I think the comics are super good. And, like, even though the books aren't canon anymore, it's still canon to me. Whatever. They still have a really good lore, and they try really hard to be respectful of the source material. I feel like sometimes they kind of fail, but they try. They really do.
It's just my opinion, but I feel like Trek is superior just because they did so many TV shows, and then it's like they fleshed out the lore.
It's definitely more consistent with the continuity.
They fleshed out the lore years ago, way before that Star Wars tried.
Yeah, like I think it. Like I don't know why George decided he was like, yeah, we should totally do prequel movies. That's kind of the failure of Star Wars. The original trilogy, like to me at this point, is all that I care about. I don't care about the animated shows, all the extra extended universe stuff. Like the main first three movies. That's all I care about. That's all I want to talk about. Because
he probably got sick of people saying, "Where's episode 1, 2, and 3, George?"
Exactly. So yeah, and what's crazy is that like episode 1, 2, and 3 were like literally Star Wars for my generation, much like how like the Rise of Skywalker like things and like a Star Wars story is like for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. But like I just couldn't connect with it. It's kind of like the whole Jar Jar Binks thing is supposed to be our self-insert character. So how was I ever gonna fucking like that movie?
Oh God.
Like the whole maturity arc, and he's a senator by then. No, George, you fundamentally misunderstood our generation.
Yeah, trade talks. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I love the music for this one because it's by Jerry Goldsmith. Jerry Goldsmith is an absolute fucking gold standard. I love Jerry Goldsmith. He's people don't talk about Jerry Goldsmith too much. Like everybody always runs like Hans Zimmerman and like John Williams and all that, and they're great. But like I feel like he needs to get his flowers too.
Oh yeah.
Like, the score on this is so amazing. Like, it just makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up in certain scenes. The end credit scene music is really good. It's Symphony No. 2. So good. It's so good. It's so weird, the names of the songs that they use. But yeah, it just makes you think. But yeah, I could talk about this movie forever, but it's an A++ for me, always.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Maybe one day we can, you know what they have, like I said, when that new movie comes out, maybe we can, if you're going to do the marathon, we can rank all the movies in one episode when that new movie comes out.
Oh, the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alien Romulus, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it comes out August 16th, so if we can squeeze in an episode in August about it.
Okay.
Before.
Okay. All right. And all right, anything else left?
No, I think we did it. We didn't get too rambly.
No, we actually kind of stayed on topic for the most part.
Wild.
That's a feat for us, yes.
Well, I did take my medicine, so I'm a little more focused right now.
Oh, medicine, yes.
Yeah, I had to go to the pharmacy to pick up my medication. That's why I was running a little late. The line was kind of long.
And it wouldn't light. Come on.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Chew. I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yes.
What if you don't have a lighter? You know, most smokers never can find their lighters because they hang out with other smokers who steal them. Looking at you, Tracy, if you're listening.
Oh! Personal call out. Wow. Oh, my.
It had to be said.
Be gentle with the package.
All right, so.
I get it.
All right, so. Hold on, I pulled the schedule, but I know what it is. All right, kids. So yes, next time we are going to stay in space, and we're going to wrap up Star Trek Discovery, the last season, the franchise.
Well, the series.
The series, yeah. Sorry,
we'll
series.
talk about the franchise though, where it sits. Is it worse than Enterprise? Find out.
The
results may shock you.
Oh my!
Becky was like, "Come on!"
All right, so yes. So send us, send us your alien thoughts. Send us your Star Trek Discovery thoughts. Email us, saltyandpetty69@gmail.com.
Boom! We got it, boys!
I hope so. Just for...
We're only 73 episodes in. It's okay.
saltyandpetty69@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can, of course, find every Salty and Petty episode and every episode of everything on the Capes and Lunatics podcast network. Links to all the social media. Links to find merch. Pick yourself up some new merchandise. Capes and Lunatics, Sidekicks, and Capes and Lunatics podcast network. And again, the classic stuff is still up there.
Be a hipster like me and Ray.
Exactly. Or, of course, again, just treat us like your favorite neighborhood stripper, and please rain random money on us through the Cash App link.
Make it rain.
Again, we're out here dancing. Come on, show us some love.
She looks like she was just working a stripper pole down at Divas.
Because
it just makes it so much funnier because it's Justin.
I know.
I expect that from me.
Well, I mean, you two are kind of two sides of the same coin, so.
We are.
But again, you don't know, you never know what you're going to get on the Patreon.
Hell, we don't even know half the time.
I know. It's a lot of times it's a last-minute decision. So, yes, watch us scramble and subscribe to the Patreon. But find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. Don't worry, it's all in the show notes.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
All right. In space and Florida, no one can hear you scream because Lilith Hellfire's after you. Lilith, where can people get a hold of you?
No. Friend your old internet granny on Facebook, where you can find me on Instagram or Threads. Or, Lilith Hellfire 69 at TikTok. Friend me. If you got some content, I'll make a comment. That's what I do. That's what I spend my time doing.
Coming out of the bush?
Not Ray.
Oh!
Don't get fingered. It's so salty.
See, gotta start pulling some of these old ones out of the closet here.
Dust them
out of the gooch.
Uh,
Party in the front and the back. just need to get my unpopular opinion out of my mouth.
Oh, I forgot. That's our new intro every time for Salty and Penny. Oh, all right, gonna put that by the music.
Just need to get my unpopular opinion out of my mouth.
All right, thank you for joining us. Again, join us next time when Lilith doesn't have such high praise for a space.
You might be surprised.
Oh.
Y'all know how I feel about Discovery.
But again,
I made it no secret.
But again, you know how good Alien is because Lilith Hellfire don't rave about it, nothing unless she truly believes it. So
yeah.
All right, come back next time and remember, keep your eye on your chest. Hail.